The breath, I feel, is quite underrated in this day and age, because a lot of us believe that because it's something that we have to do and that we do it automatically, that we breathe healthy. However, that can be quite far from the truth, actually. Our breath and our nervous system and our bodies are super smart. So, depending what we feed it, it's going to adapt to it. So, when we live in a world of stress, unhealthy foods, lack of exercise, this can all lead to chronic overbreathing. So, chronic overbreathing obviously happens over time and just means that we're breathing more than we actually have to. So I will put below some signs of chronic overbreathing, but it actually leads to a lot of disease, whether it's heart disease. It can also affect asthma, obesity, and even fatigue and insomnia. So, just by changing the way we breathe and breathing less, this can actually help reduce a lot of these symptoms. So, so the way we're actually meant to breathe throughout the day is by remembering LSD. And yes, some of you might be like, ooh, LSD. But it actually stands for low, slow, and deep. Now, with our breath, we can also manipulate our nervous system. So if you're feeling activated, overwhelmed, anxious, we can actually use a down regulation, which means it's going to have a longer exhale than inhale. This is going to help calm the nervous system down. Then we have the ones when we're feeling really sluggish and depressed and just slow. We can use one that activates. So that's usually one with a longer inhale and a shorter exhale. Then we have the balancing. So obviously that's going to be the same inhale to exhale. And that one's really nice for finding calm, balance, and focus as well. So I'm going to introduce you a few that you can begin to experiment with in the time to come. And some of these are really great too if you're triggered as well, because the work that you would have been doing already, I'm sure you're already experiencing some sensations and discomfort and emotions arising. So just having these tools with the breath can really help you in your own process and learning how to emotionally regulate and also regulate your nervous system. So the first one I want to introduce you to is the 4-7-8. Now, firstly, with all these breathwork techniques, you kind of find what works for you and you can kind of experiment with them. These are just like a basic structure, and I'll give you the information that you need with that. So the 4-7-8 is exactly how it sounds. So it's going to be breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 7, exhaling for 8. And this is done all through the nose. Now, with the 4-7-8, if you find you've done it a few times and you really feel that it's quite a stretch with the 7 and the 8, you want to halve it. So I'll put the halving numbers down below. But if it's quite a bit of a stretch, it actually turn into a bit of an activation one and do the reverse of what you actually want it to do. But we're going to do it together really quickly. And I want you just to allow yourself to experience it and really notice what you're feeling. You may feel lightheaded from this, and that's totally fine. So I suggest sitting down in a comfy chair or on the couch. Later on, you can begin to lie down or even stand up with this one. But for right now, with all of these, just begin by sitting down with your spine nice and straight. So I'll get you to close down your eyes and just listen to my voice and just take a few reset breaths, breathing in through your nose and just out through the mouth. So, and another one, breathing in through the nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to breathe in now through your nose for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling out slowly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in 2, 3, 4. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just sit there and Notice any sensations in the body. And like I mentioned, if you're feeling lightheaded, that is totally normal. And just notice what you're feeling. So this one is a great one, like I mentioned, just to downregulate, and it is great for insomnia, and for just feeling a lot calmer. Now, the next one that I want to teach you guys is a nice balancing one. And this one is one of my personal favorites as well. It's the 5-5. So, this one is great to create some calm, some focus, some balance, but also it's a heart brain coherence. So, we actually have a connection between heart and brain. And depending on how we're breathing and what our heart is doing, it actually then creates a story or a sensor, whether we're safe or not safe in the story in our brain, so to speak, to keep it nice and simple. So if we're breathing in the chest and breathing really fast, obviously we're going to tell our system and our brain that we are in survival mode. So if we can begin to slow down our breathing, slow down our heart rate, and you can even focus on your heart as well through this breath, and that will begin to say a different story. Now, this can be something that's unfamiliar, so it might bring up the feeling of discomfort or even not feeling safe because it's not familiar to what we have been breathing. So just being aware of that, that when we begin to breathe healthy, it might feel unnatural or even feel like it's not right, so to speak. So this one's done in and out through the nose, so breathing in for 5, out for 5. And there's a subtle pause in each end, like it doesn't have to be real strict with breathing in and then got to breathe out straight away. There's just a natural pause. If you're feeling a little bit more anxious and stressed, you can actually experiment with this, breathing in for 5 through the nose and breathing out through the mouth for 5. So we'll do one together, just in and out through the nose, and just notice how you feel. And we're just going to do the nose breathing for now, and then you can experiment in your own time with the exhale. So getting nice and comfortable again, back nice and straight, just doing one reset breath. Now through the mouth. You're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhaling again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just letting your breathing normalize and just notice how you feel. This one is great because you can do 2 or 3 rounds of it and feel a difference. And if you want to feel a lot different, then 5 minutes, it's awesome. I tend to do this in the morning, as well as with different activation techniques. And I do it during the day whenever I tune into my body and my breath, just especially if you're in the mind. This is just a way of, okay, bringing myself back to my body and creating that healthy rhythm, because the more that we can consciously do it, the more that we'll unconsciously begin to breathe in a healthier way. So that's that one. And like I said, if you want to experiment with the exhale, it's just a kind of like a whooshing sound. So the third one that I want to teach you today is the 10-20-30. This one I've been experimenting a little bit more myself. And it's one that's great for a little pick me up, especially in that kind of like 3 p.m. Snoozy sort of need some energy or another coffee kind of stage. It's also great if you're feeling super frazzled or really in your mind, because this will bring you back into your body. And yeah, it just calms everything down. And you can also do it 40 or 50. If you're in a trigger, the more you do, I can guarantee you will probably not remember what you were triggered about, or at least it will just diffuse it a lot. So how it goes is you're going to breathe in for 10 breaths, and then you're going to hold for 10, and then you're going to breathe in for 20, hold for 20, and you're going to breathe in for 30 and hold for 30. And that's when obviously you have the choice to continue. Now, with the breath, it's actually going to be a longer inhale and a shorter exhale. And it's going to be into sort of the upper half of your chest. So either in the diaphragm or up in the chest. and it's going to look a little bit like this, and it's through the mouth as well. So I'm going to show you the first 10, then I'll leave that up to you. Whether for future reference, you can do this straight after the video, give it a whirl. I do suggest definitely sitting down for this one, because this one you can feel really lightheaded, may pass out, but it's not one to worry about. That's a maybe. But just being aware that you can get super lightheaded. So once again, sitting down, back nice and straight. Let's do a reset breath. So down. I'm going to begin. So it's and then you continue. So that round where you would continue to 20. So once you've done the 20, you're breathing in, and you're holding your breath for 20 seconds, and then you exhale, and then you start your 30. So this one you can also do a little bit slower as well. So you can begin doing it faster, but the main thing is to breathing in, and then on the exhale, it's just a relaxed kind of. So you're not forcing it, you're just letting it out. So you can also go. So experiment with that yourself, see how that feels. The faster ones can feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you're getting more oxygen a lot faster. But yeah, this one is a fun one to do, and is a great one to have in your tool belt. So enjoy those. I love to hear your feedback on them, which one tends to help, if you're feeling any activation or if anything else is going on. But otherwise, enjoy and pop that into your toolkit.